What's up, guys? Today we're going to be installing new rear foot pegs for the R6, as well as getting rid of this broken one and installing a new one as well. We're going to do all 4 pegs today. I already removed this one. So this had a aftermarket foot peg on it. It was in here like this, and with this one, basically it just has a pin that goes through the peg and then the spring for the peg. And then to get this peg off, all you need to do is a cotter pin that goes through this pin here at the end. So once you put the spring and the peg on and it's installed like it was before, all you have to do to get it out is take this cotter pin out and pull the pin out, and that's it. So the construction of the rear passenger pegs involve a ball bearing and a spring. So what you want to do is, you can see there's a ball bearing right here, and there's a spring up above the ball bearing. So when you remove the stock pegs, make sure the spring and ball bearing don't go flying everywhere. Unless your kit comes with new ones, then you don't have to worry about that. But carefully remove the peg, and try and hold this little plate right here up against the peg when you remove it, so the ball bearing and spring don't fly out. So in order to reinstall a new peg like this, you basically just take the peg, take the little plate right here at the bottom that I showed you, and you're going to want to put it up against the peg when you're holding it in your hand. You're going to want to stick it under the peg at the bottom so that these 2 curves on the bottom of the plate are facing outwards. So it slides in like this. So you're just going to slide it in like facing that way. And then before you do that, you're going to want, this is a rear peg, but this is what I was saying about the spring. The factory rear pegs have a little spring already in there, but doesn't come out as easily. The aftermarket pegs you buy will most likely have just a hole it's in the same place. That's what these ones have, where you just drop a little spring that it comes with into that hole, and then what you do is you put the ball bearing on top of that spring that's in the hole, and then you put this plate on so that one of these notches is over top the ball bearing and holding it in, and then you press down so that it covers that little center circle there. So then once you do that, you just hold it all down tight and slide it in there, and then you can hear that it's working correctly because it's the clicking of the ball bearing holding it in place slightly. And then if it's not going to do that at first until you actually tighten it back up with the bolt. So that's basically how you install these. It's just a spring and a ball bearing and a little plate, which you just have to make sure everything's lined up where it should be, and it should be really easy to do. So over on the 954 here, it's a similar concept, but this is the factory peg. This bottom plate shaped slightly differently, but I mean, there's still a spring and ball bearing inside there, allowing it to click into place. And this one actually has a cotter pin on the bottom, so if I need to remove it, I don't need to grind it off or anything. So yeah, now we're going to install the foot pegs on the R6 on both sides. So the purpose of these pegs on the bottom of the peg is for when you're riding and you're leaning into a turn. You might lean so far down that the peg will be around at this angle or so, and instead of scraping the peg or having the peg catch on something, it scrapes these bottom pieces of the peg. So when you're on the bike, it will help push your peg up instead of being a stationary point, which could possibly catch something. So now we're going to mount the spring onto the peg and then push the pin through the top of the peg to secure it on. So you want to rest the spring into the peg like this, and then what I usually do is that and drop it on the floor. So once you're holding that peg in there with the spring, then you're going to want to start sliding in that pin to hold the peg in place. Alright, so when you have the pin in there kind of holding stuff together like the spring, you're just going to want to tap lightly on the top of the pin until it goes all the way through. These little clips here go on to the pins. You put these clips on. Want to use a pair of pliers or something, you can get in there. It's a good idea to put these on when you're done, so in case the pin slides up through there, you won't be losing that foot peg in the middle of a ride. Alright, so I'm going to install these, and then we're going to go on to the other side of the bike to take off that peg. So after we install these and both of the rear passenger pegs, all we're going to do now is take care of this broken peg here on the side where the brake lever is. So I'm going to probably grind this side, pull the pin out, and bam, that'll be it. So now that we've got that rivet off the bottom of the pin, it's simple. It's just taking out the pin. There you go. Alright, you just go over to get your new front peg here with the spring, and we will be all set. Same thing applies over here. You know, screw this thing on and put it in there with the spring. Set the spring in first, then put it in there and hold it down, and then start tapping the pin into it with the springs while the spring's in there, and put one of those little U-shaped clamp at the bottom here, and boom, you're good to go on your awesome ride. Right, yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial about removing and installing pegs on a motorcycle. Thanks for watching. Hope you like and subscribe, please. I like to do tutorial videos. I like helping people out, so I've always looked up stuff on YouTube and got a lot of help, so kind of giving back to the community, if you know what I mean. I mean, everyone's got to know something. I know stuff, you know stuff. Put it out there. What a wonderful technology age we live in. Alright, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed my videos, guys. I'd like you to subscribe and like whenever you get a chance. I'll be throwing more out there. And, alright, so I guess this is it here for today. I'm gonna just finish the rest of my energy drink and then head back inside and I'll be okay. Whoa, shit. Oh, that could have been bad. Oh, Randy. I am the liquor.